Let's Talk About It podcast is sponsored by Real Estate Title, servicing clients all across the state of New Jersey. Corey, what's going on? How are you, man?
Doing well, Jim. Glad to be back. It's been a while, so I appreciate that invite to return.
Yeah, man. So I'm Jimmy Mortgage, your favorite lender. I'm all over social platform, and Corey is going to be talking about real estate, YouTube, the conversion. We're also going to be talking about what does it look like when you're renovating a home, how certain zip codes are different from others, and what you can do today. Prepare yourself either today, tomorrow, next year to buy a house. Right, Corey?
No doubt.
Let's go. So, Corey, tell me what's happening in today's market, man.
Yeah, so the market we're in right now is very interesting. We have to date back to pre-COVID days to when buyers had better leverage than what they have right now.
Okay.
All right. So, and people hear that, and I'm careful when I use terms like correction. Right. Because when you hear correction, people are thinking, and one of the questions you may hear as well, are we here in Jersey in a bubble? Right. And the way I explain it is like, look, Jersey's in the heart of the most populated area of the country.
Correct.
This northeast corridor is the most populated. So we have New York, we have, of course, Philadelphia, we have Jersey.
Right.
So we are in no way in a bubble situation where we're going to see some kind of price crash scenario. But are we seeing correction in that home appreciation cannot continue at 8, 10, some cases 15% annually, because salaries don't increase at that rate.
There's a climate, right.
So correction is more of when is there going to be a leveling out? When is there going to be somewhat of a plateau? When is going to be an environment where buyers have a little bit more leverage to negotiate on prices? And that's where we find ourselves right now. So we actually find more price improvements, as they call them, right? Which is price reduction.
Safe word.
Yes. So you see price reductions right now.
Right.
You see opportunities for buyers to come in and negotiate on some things, right? To negotiate a little bit more on some of those seller concessions.
Right.
Varies on market. So on my channel, for example, I just recorded a Livingston episode that's going to come out in a couple weeks. So that one. This one is like, every market is going to be a little different, based on demand. So it's not, all of them in the same. It's not, apples to apples for every market.
Well, to be fair, Livingston is a niche market.
It is.
There's the higher end mostly live in the township of Livingston. So
that is correct.
Right. So
that is correct.
There's a lot of moving parts on that part.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, but buyers should be encouraged right now.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting at.
Right. Correct.
So. Your other markets around that aren't no super niche markets, you're finding more opportunity out there, even though inventory hasn't necessarily taken a jump. If anything, a lot of buyers have taken the back seat earlier in the year because they just, some discouraged, some a little frustrated.
Right.
Rates are what they are. I mean, they are trimming down a little, right? They are drifting.
They're in the
down
sixes.
Yep, in the sixes, right? So, but we're still seeing that, okay, right now, your buy activity is at a place where you don't have to climb over everyone else on that one property.
You mean sight on scene?
Yes.
Bam, take it.
Yes.
What?
Oh my gosh, man.
That's calmed down a little bit.
It has. It has. Right. So the days of, we list, and the irony of all that, I have clients right now who we're experiencing just that situation.
Okay.
All right. So we are. So it's not when some people, how they see online, they're like, oh, well, that wasn't my experience, and that's true.
Right.
So
every experience is different.
It is. It's very different. So I have clients right now where we're going in on an offer. The first open house is today on a Friday. They're going to have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Spoke to the agent this morning. They are already setting highest and best on Tuesday. Now, that's still not the common thing in this market anymore. Right? This is very, very rare, but it's because of location.
Right. Proximity to New York City is key. And that's important, right?
Yes. Everything. But we are still in a seller's market. It's just not as heavy leaning towards that sell side as what we've experienced earlier this year.
You make a good case for, you mentioned earlier with seller's concession, today now more than ever. If there's room with what the value of the home can potentially be after appraisal, or if the seller's willing to give you some monies back, that can close the gap and give home affordability for those who are looking to get into homes. Because the truth of the matter is, it has been a challenge, right? Because what we talk about, right? You have wages and you have appreciation. At some point, the bleeding has to stop, right? Like, yo, what are you gonna do? Like, who's gonna be able to afford?
Right.
And then we have to also include, we have a lot of these private money guys are coming into these certain areas. They're taking the most dilapidated home, fixing it, and looking for 4 or 5 times more than what the house is worth.
Yes. Sometimes corporate.
Sometimes corporate, right.
Yeah.
And so with some people feel like, you know what, the shinier it is, the more I spend on it, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
But we were talking about in the green room, maybe you should consider buying a home
no doubt.
that's in the condition where you could make it your own and maximize your return. We always feel like there is a time you just need to talk to someone like yourself to go through the process to make sure that whatever you navigate with the purchase, in the end, you're satisfied, because you work too hard to get this home. And we don't want to put you in a situation where you're upside down with your equity neither, right? But we do understand that what's actually happening in today's market. It's a challenge, but we do have products that are available, whether it be down payment assistance, whether it be, we have something internal with CMG, which is called Home Funded. It allows you to put monies into this bucket. Friends and family can contribute, and we can use that for first-time home buyers, right? If you don't want to rely on government assistance on the purchase of your home. We also have seller's concession, like Corey mentioned. And then there are different nuances too, because of the fact that the economy is changing. So someone's bad could be your good. I'm not asking or advocating for it, but I'm just saying, when people sell, you don't know what the reason they're selling for. So sometimes this is a good time to look at it and say, okay, let me consult with a professional like Corey and his team to help you with the home purchase. And of course, me as your lender, right? You have to use me as your lender. That's what we're talking about. Let's talk about that, right?
Yes.
So Corey, with everything happening in today, and we were talking about, not anything happened today. We were talking about renovations. Can you walk me through what does a renovation process look like as you help others and you going through it yourself?
Yeah. So I can speak firsthand as I'm undergoing the first major. We've done many different upgrades at my home through the years. We're 25 years in our home this year.
25 years.
Yeah, and a blink, man. It just goes by. So yes, this is like large scale. Every room is getting redone, right?
Okay.
And by the way, I mean, just for buyers out there, and Jimmy was talking about the sweat equity aspect of things in terms of the equity you have in the home and appreciation, and the value that you have of your home for what you purchase versus what it will be after post renovation. I always tell buyers who are buying for the first time, there's 2 things I think every buyer should really consider for the first time, and it's a challenging for some of them, but one of them, consider multifamily, for one. All right, because that becomes like a legacy portfolio piece, long term. The second piece is consider the properties that are in need of that upgrade, that love and touch, that TLC.
Right.
Because as you mentioned, the bright and shiny things is what draws offers in the vertical direction, right? So you're finding yourself competing, and you're paying a premium for what somebody else did.
Right.
Okay. So in this situation where we are engaging in a renovation, and you have to be prepared for, and I understand why a first-time buyer has the mindset, because they don't necessarily want to take on projects. They're inexperienced as a home purchaser and owner.
Right. The fear factor is there.
Fear factor, first time around.
Right.
But there's such immense value long-term. But the things that we consider when I look at a home. So with my team, we go into homes and we're looking at the TLC, the upgrade type of situation. And there's 3 things specifically that we're looking to identify. What are those big major project pieces? Right. Those, and that's not kitchens and bathrooms.
Right.
Your casual buyer comes through a property, they're looking at, what does that kitchen look like? What does the bathroom look like? But we are looking at roof condition, windows, and the foundation, of course, like, the basement tells you a lot. All right. So the condition of the basement and the heating, cooling. A lot of homes don't have central air, but if they have heating. So it's just a matter of, what does those systems look like? Right. Because those are your big ticket items that you're going to pay for from a maintenance standpoint.
So you're doing the inspection work before the inspector gets there.
Okay, absolutely, 100%.
That's key, because those 100%. Are heavy ticket items. When I'm telling you, it's not 2, 3, it's more than that. Yes. If it's not structured correctly.
Yes, correct. And I think some people have watched my YouTube episodes when I cover this kind of thing. But my clients get a lot of value out of that.
Right.
Right. They feel that they have an advocate for them. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm in there, it's just like, it's like breathing. It's just like
Right.
second nature. Like, hey, we're looking for this.
Well, you're
this,
numb
and
to
this.
it now,
Right?
because that's your
Yes,
value, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
So those are the big things that we're looking to really consider, because the others are just finishes that are going to be done anyway.
Right.
All right. But those core pieces mean a lot. So now, like in my situation, I already live in a house. I know how well it's been maintained.
Right.
But here's the nuances that come with a renovation, because we have situations where you select a contractor, and I can attest right now, we have great contractors, right? So we
Right.
have people who are reliable, they're skilled, and they're honest.
Right.
The challenge that we have is depending on where you live in New Jersey, all right? And
Town
New
officials.
Jersey, oh my gosh. So New Jersey is the state of, like, we have over 560 some municipalities, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it's crazy.
Right.
And I saw a recent data point that said that of our 550 plus, over 50% have populations of 10,000 or fewer.
10,000. The state is not that big.
Yes. 10,000, half the municipalities are 10,000. Like, come on, man.
That's
Really? So
no wonder taxes are going up.
Yes. And what does that do for your resources? How can you pull things together? How can you get better services?
Right.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But so the town you live in has a buildings department, and I can advise everybody out there, you don't want to be on the bad side of your buildings department, because they can make life hard.
Right.
All right. So in our situation, it's like, okay, the rough work is being done, which means your plumbing and your electric that happens behind walls,
Right.
underneath floors, what have you. Everything seems good. But all it takes is an inspector to say no, no, and no, because this is what I want to see. Right. And in my case, it was down to the actual shower diverter that we bought.
Right. You were talking about, right.
Toilet that we bought, and tub filler, because we're having like a standalone tub filler. So these are things that you have to really account for, and it's difficult because you don't know, how quickly does your town schedule inspections, right?
Yeah.
And when they come back out, they're coming back again. There's two phases. There's the initial phase to say, okay, I see what you're doing. The initial setup is okay, and I'm going to come back to make sure the finishes are what they should be, right? So these are dynamics that can play out, that can make really, really unforeseen turns and things that you have to navigate. I'll put it that way. But in the end, it is worth it.
Yeah, of course it is.
It is worth it, because I can see what is coming in another 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm getting excited about it now, because I'm like, okay, I can see it coming together. But there's some challenges.
School of hard knocks, no pain, no gain.
Oh, yes.
This is what it is.
Yes, so
but
true.
This is to the point what Corey's talking about, right? It's not cut and paste.
Yes.
And if it was cut and paste, we all would be doing
Everybody.
it, right? And I want to attribute that to what you're doing on your YouTube channel, right? Because as well as you articulated what it looks like for one buying a home, and what sweat equity looks like when building those that foundation of your home, how do you bring a crowd? It's like your YouTube channel is blowing up, man. Like, you're talking about X town, you're talking about the relationship of the town. How are you drawing people to your channel, and why your value is that important today versus 2 years ago when you started the channel?
Got it.
What's changed?
Good question, Jimmy. And this has been evolving.
Yes,
right.
yeah.
It's been evolving. So
from the 1 views to now thousands, right?
Yeah. So when I started YouTube, it was experimental very much.
Right.
I had never did video. A lot of people are intimidated by video. I ultimately, just like you and I doing, we're chopping it up right now. We're just in front of cameras, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're on your own, and you're like, the difference between your layperson and someone who is a skilled professional, that skilled professional does it every day. Right. So if somebody's coming to you and they're talking mortgage, you talk mortgage every day, but your average person only encounters it when they're doing a refi.
That is correct.
Or they're purchasing a home, right?
Save me some money, Jimmy.
So as a realtor, a lot of realtors are intimidated by, okay, I don't know what I would say. Well, say what you know and what you know.
You mean how I look? Where's the filter at?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man.
That was a joke. Ladies, don't come after me. We're just having a little fun right here. We're just having a little fun right here.
Hey, look, I guess it helps when what you see on the screen is pleasant.
I'm just saying.
It does help. But I'm not one that I'm no George Clooney. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm just up here talking. So,
right.
But seriously, man, when I started, I just said, you know what, I'm gonna get up here and I'm just gonna do towns, right?
Right.
And then I'm gonna throw in some other things that are some feature pieces just about New Jersey.
Right.
I've honed in more just to talk about real estate now.
Okay.
That's one thing that I kind of shifted away from in some of the other sidebar things.
Right.
And because most of the people who were finding value from watching me wasn't from the other things like places to eat and other venues and things like it was what I talked about in real estate.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So that was one thing that I kind of learned along the way. And one thing that I learned also is that there are definitely plenty of tools and even people you can hire that can expose you to get X number of views.
Right.
Is one thing, particularly in our environment where we live in right now, where you're talking about influencers. Like influencers in general, they want to get the most amount of views so people can engage with them and then follow them.
Right.
I'm looking for lead generation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What pays the bills?
Yes.
That part.
So for me, it's not as important for me to get the growth of the channel and more subscriber and views are important. But I'm not so much concerned because I do have people that hit me up all the time. Hey, we can get you to this point. There's ways in which I could do my channel that would be just, flashy to grab attention from anyone. But what I'm looking for specifically are people who are looking to buy a home or to sell a home.
Right. And that's the thing that we need to understand. On social platforms, yes, we see highlights, but sometimes when you look at that individual number, it's not what it looks like. And for us, what's important is lead gen.
Oh, absolutely.
Lead gen, value, referrals. This is how we put ourselves out there because at the end of the day, it's the benefit of you getting a home, yes, but it's also the benefit of how we make a living. So you shouldn't discount my time and value because you just feel like it. No, we're growing, we're sharing, and we want what we all are looking for: relationships, value.
Correct.
Period. And that turns into currency in the checking account. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm so fascinated of I'm so fascinated of how your channel has grown because you continually put it out there. You talk about the town specifics. At times I see you come up with the raw data.
Yes.
Because data has implication on how you want to offer that purchase on someone buying a house.
Correct.
And I'm like, Corey, I mean, I'm so I'm loving this moment right now because from inception, seeing what you did and where you're at today, what do you see the future like with your channel?
I've arrived at a point where, to the point you just made, I focus even more so on data points and what they mean, right? Okay. What does it inform us right now? What trend lines does it take us to? And how does it inform our strategy?
Okay.
Whether it be buy or sell. And where are you right now as a buyer or a seller? And how does this information inform you, right? So I've leaned into that. Okay. So I lean into that even more so than just my general, tour of a town kind of thing, right? Okay. So you'll see if you watch my recent content, you'll see a lot of data points, a lot of graphs, a lot of things that are interactive. And I leverage a lot of tools that we have at our disposal now to do that kind of presentation. So what I want to see I'll put it this way, what I want someone who views my content to walk away with is meaningful data on the New Jersey market and then specifically their general area or location. If you want your neighborhood, give me a call, right? If you want your specific town, give me a call. Right. All right. But I want to make sure that there's something tangible, something of substance that you can walk away with and not just fluff and flair.
Yeah, people see. If you see what's going on, the graph is that simple. So is it fair to say you're the Bloomberg of real estate?
Oh my gosh, that's a high bar, man.
Hey, look, Corey, your numbers reflect that your team is working harder. You see so many different things. I mean, you're an example of what it looks like. And as you continue, we spoke about it behind the scenes. Now you need to expand. Yeah. Now it's trying to figure out, where do I place that time, and how do I make sure I'm still doing the best for all my clients, right?
Correct.
And that's a challenge, but that's a good challenge, because I promise you, some are not where you're at, team or individually. So I love what you got going on, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
So Corey, you know, I'm in Union County, you're in Union County, Essex, Bergen, Hudson. So if one is looking, you know, first time home buyer, you know, I'm excited. I want to get to the city, but I can't afford it. Can you drop a town or two? You know, let's not, you know, because I don't want to take the snippet and people are like, no, move over here. No. Can you walk us through a little bit of what towns, given the medium average price point today, we looking anywhere between 550, 600,000. It sounds crazy, but that numbers are numbers. That's what it is.
Right.
If one is looking to move into New Jersey, what some of the towns you think you can get bang for your buck?
All right, well, you're up my alley now.
Yeah, let's go. We're talking about head real estate now. We're talking
about
my
content. We're hitting on this a lot. Right?
Yeah, that's why I had to bring it in, man. Let's Talk About It podcast is sponsored by Goosehead Insurance, servicing clients all across New Jersey.
There's anyone who watches my channel know I hit the big three, right?
Okay.
Big three are these
big three.
Big three. One of them is proximity to New York City in terms of driving distance. 1 hour drive to Midtown Manhattan.
Okay.
Right? Roughly.
Roughly.
The second one is train station in the municipality, local train station.
Right.
All right. Third one is school ratings. All right. So, and by school ratings, I refer to niche.com pretty consistently. And you need to be in the A's, A+, A minus. All right. These are your high-performing districts where families looked for that district because they either heard of it or they researched it, and they're like, I want my kids to go there. And as I tell people all the time, even if you don't have kids and you're just thinking about the value of your home, you still want to pay attention to school ratings.
Okay, yeah, okay? That's key.
So if we're looking at, it doesn't have to be a check mark on all three. Many that check mark all three, that price point puts us at a challenge right off the bat.
You just need a baseline. We're giving you a baseline.
Yes. So you want generally 2 out of the 3. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
But in Union, I tell you the hot spot this one of what I call one of my bellwether markets, and that's Union.
Ooh,
Union Township in Union County. Reason being is that Union doesn't have a super high ceiling.
Right.
It does not have a very low floor either. Okay.
Okay.
So Union,
it's the mean.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a solid middle ground. The school ratings consistently are like B+ range.
Okay.
Which is solid. Okay. You're by Turnpike, Garden State, 78, train station. Like everything is there.
Right.
Sweet spot. Okay. That's for Union. If I'm really trying to save some money and I want to save a little on taxes, I'm considering Middlesex County.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Middlesex County has a noticeable drop off in property taxes compared to Union.
Right.
Union's cheaper than Essex. You know what I mean? By far. But when you're talking about Union, a lot of people don't hear that much. New Yorkers, I put it that way, don't think that much about Middlesex County until I start talking about, location wise, it's really just directly west of Staten Island.
Yeah.
All right. And a lot of the locations are very conveniently located to the Garden State. Right. Or even Turnpike.
You mean Rutgers is located in Middlesex County? Yes.
Yes.
And
Rutgers
you could
is
take
there.
the Outer Bridge. You could take
Outer
the
Bridge
Turnpike.
there.
Everything's right there.
If you work downtown Brooklyn, right? If you're somewhere in that kind of corridor.
Staten Island.
Turnpike.
You're there.
The financial district, Battery Park, lower end of Manhattan.
Right.
Absolutely. That's another consideration, right? So when you start looking at Piscataway, South Plainfield, these are locations where inventory is pretty available. All right. And
he said available.
And your price points are, if you are in that 550 to 600, you have very, very good options to consider.
Okay.
All right. Now, those 2 locations, again, school rating is going to be perfectly fine. Do they have the train stations? No, they don't.
Right.
But are they within driving distance to one? A comfortable drive, 15, 20-minute drive. Yes, absolutely. So depending on where you work in the city, because I have other people say, hey, look, I work uptown.
Right.
Or I work in the Bronx.
Right.
So now we have to start thinking, all right, what's a little bit further north? Do we have to go like Hawthorne?
Right.
And Passaic, right? Which is right there on just over the edge of the Bergen County line.
Right. I'm just now getting used to Passaic County too now, right?
Yeah.
I'm like Clifton. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Passaic.
Clifton is another one.
Passaic County.
Clifton is another one. Now you just dropped it. Yes.
Okay.
Clifton is another one. Clifton, Bloomfield, Union, those are high volume, month to month sale type of markets because there's always inventory moving because it's relatively affordable for all three. Right.
Okay.
So if you're in Essex and you really say, hey, look, I need to be in Essex, I'm looking Bloomfield. You're going to pay a little bit more of a premium for it. But location wise, it is exceptional. B+ school rating again. Right. So. And then if you're comfortable, you're like, hey, look, maybe I only commute in the city 2 or 3 days a week.
Right.
Maybe I want to consider something in Morris County. Maybe I want to consider Somerset County, right? So maybe I start looking at, if it's Somerset County, maybe I look at Somerville.
Right.
You know, if it's Morris County, then maybe I look at Morristown, right? Looking at some of the areas around these areas that are not super high demand where I'm priced out automatically.
Right.
But I have some options there in that kind of mid-range, which is like you mentioned. It's kind of crazy to think our mid-range is $550 to $650.
But that's what it is.
But it is. That is what it is.
And to be fair, right, when you're making your mortgage payment, a third of it goes to taxes. So to what Corey is saying, the further you go away, the less most likely you'll pay in taxes, right? And taxes are key because they're part of your monthly payment. And to be very clear, taxes do not go down. They just go up. So if it starts at 12, next year you're not going to see it at 11. You're going to see it at maybe 12 and a half. And so between the compounding effect of what's going on with homeowners insurance and taxes, that's why your mortgage payment goes up. It's not because of principal and interest, because most of us are in fixed payments. But to what Corey is saying, you got to understand what's important for you. Proximity, time, or what you have left in your checking account. That's ultimately how you guys will make it make sense when it comes to home ownership. And again, this is what Corey does on his YouTube channel. He articulates this message where one is comfortable and they click on it and they listen to him and they give him a call and then he finds him a house and he's like, yo, was it worth it? In the end, it's like, you damn right it's worth it because I got my house, right?
Yes. At this point, I want to say 75% of my clientele. Yeah.
Say that again, Corey, because some people don't understand what that means. 75%.
About 75% of my clientele are coming through YouTube. And the beautiful thing is that these are people who come through the door. Day one, they feel like they already know me.
The door is the phone.
Right. They're correct.
The door is the phone.
That is correct. They have an automated system. As soon as they drop in, hey, look, I'm a buyer, need some help or like to work with you or whatever it may be. I get that notification. We meet, and it's like they're speaking to me as though I'm their cousin, brother, uncle, whatever, right?
Because they know of you already, right? Because you're out there.
Yes, which I've grown accustomed to now, right? I mean, to the point where I visited a seller. I had a younger couple who were selling and then buying in another location,
right?
And knock at the door, wife is there, came out, gave me a hug like I was family, right? So it's like, okay, this is different.
Okay.
But that's what it does, man. It gives people, and they get to see the authenticity. They see your knowledge, of course, as well.
Right.
But who I am in person is who you see on screen.
Okay.
Right. So I don't put on an act. I don't put on some kind of presentation for people to see a certain side of me. What I give you is what you're going to hear over the phone, and you're going to see the same thing.
Right.
So to your point, as we grow, my challenge is as we grow, because now my business is more than what my capacity is.
That's
right?
a good feeling, man. That's a great feeling. I promise you.
So we build out a team, and what people have to experience is that a team member is going to give them that same core of what I would give.
Right.
Right. So they're going to get the same quality of care, the same guidance, the same knowledge base. Right. So those are things that are more critical now that I'm a team leader. And how do I build culture? How do I sustain the brand? Right. So those are different dynamics that I'm taking on now, which is a newer thing, but it's an exciting thing to have.
Man, that feeling's good. I promise you. It's a good feeling, man. Because the market is shifting a lot, right? And real estate was, I want to say, had some challenge for the past 3 years, right?
Yes.
We were kind of sort of in recession, right? I know I'm using the word, but I'm using it towards real estate and how compared to what was going on pre-COVID,
Right.
things were shifting. There was not normal. Things were not normalized, and a lot of things were being cherry picked. A lot of people were doing real estate on the side, and then there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not gonna sit here and behoove that situation, but friends of friends of friends, everyone was a realtor, right? And now that that market has collapsed a little bit with some
Definitely contracted.
That's moved. So now it leaves the ones like yourself who provide that value ongoingly is lasting, because you don't get to 75% because you say, I opened the door for you and you have a good day.
Oh,
because
yes.
it's not going to happen, right? So
Right.
to your point, this is why you're doing well, and you will continue to do well because of how you value your clients and how you value that channel, because that channel is blowing up. You got to check it out. And
New Jersey living.
New Jersey living. I love it. I love it. So on a lighter note, we're in football season. Who's your football team, Corey?
Football team, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
Was at the game this past week. My son is a senior at Seton Hall.
Okay.
And at the moment, going back to the renovation
Right.
discussion, I
Okay.
am displaced. I am somewhat homeless at the moment, so I'm in an Airbnb in South Orange. So my son and I hopped on a train, went up to the Meadowlands, and saw the Steelers take a close one. But they beat the Jets. Yes, so I'm a Steelers fan.
Okay.
How about yourself?
I'm a Raiders fan.
Raiders,
So I grew up in
okay.
the era of Bo Jackson. I had all the sneakers.
Yes,
so,
Bo knows.
Bo knows. And,
Yes.
watching all that happen, it's kind of him playing dual sports. He made it fun, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he got hurt. But because of Bo, I've always been, I become a Raiders fan.
Raiders, because of Bo.
Careful. Yeah, because
Okay.
of Bo, right? Man, so Corey, if one is looking to find good restaurants, do you have a handful? Because, where the show is growing, and I want to make sure entrepreneurs, they get their value too when they watch us on YouTube. So, and you don't have to, be specific if you want. It's up to you. I don't want to be that guy, but do you have one or two restaurants you want to shout out that you like and you would recommend?
Yeah. Look, there are quite a few establishments, man.
always
I'd
a
be
few.
remiss not to. I have a personal.
So say all New Jersey?
I will say this, man, and you've probably seen the same. We were talking a little earlier about New Orleans and how the food was like outstanding.
Ooh-wee.
There are certain places in my travels I go where I have no doubt food-wise I'm going to be fine, right? New Orleans, I made my first trip to New Orleans last year. That's on my list now. Yes,
Yeah.
New Orleans, you're going to be fine with
That
food.
food is, oof.
LA, you're going to be fine. I say even Vegas. Vegas, you're going to be fine.
Right.
New Jersey, look, you cannot sleep because
Okay.
we have everything.
Right. Corey's being
Everything.
safe with that answer.
But
No,
with all that said, I got to give a shout out to Chart House because my man Hans Nielsen is the manager at Chart House in Weehawken, right?
Okay.
That oversees the city. I mean, great place. And I've had any number of personal and professional events there. So that's going to get my check. But staying in that same area, La Isla, like this is one of them little Cuban spots. Now there's two of them in Hoboken.
Okay.
Now they have the one that's uptown, like right around that 14th Street area, kind of like the more fancier.
Right.
But if you go to the old one, the old mom and pop one down by the path station, man, oh my gosh, you go in there and the whole scene is no frills, but that. Oh my goodness!
The frills is in the belly, man.
Yes,
You're
yes.
You're like, oh, this tastes so good.
Absolutely,
Let's go.
absolutely.
Okay.
And there is another. It's a Thai spot, and actually, it's two spots that I really, really like. In Montclair's got a ton of stuff too.
Right.
I wish I could run down the actual name of it because my daughter knows the name better than I. But anyway, there's a Thai and a Greek spot there that I think are highly favorable, and then. A little further out, but in Warren, it's an Italian spot, Bruno's. These are two brothers.
Okay.
Both
I
of
heard
them
it.
Italian.
I heard
These guys so friendly, man. They recognize you by face, maybe not by name, but by face, because we don't go that often enough.
Right.
But oh my God, they have this calamari that's kind of tossed in this vinaigrette that is God. Man, it is fabulous.
He did the same.
Fabulous. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you got two good spices hitting each other at the same time. That's what's up.
Yes. And my wife is just like, my wife is a very very much a food snob and connoisseur.
Okay.
So my palate has adjusted through the years.
75% will do that.
It will. So yeah, man, you have a certain expectation. When we go in certain places, man, there's a bar.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
You just can't throw anything at me and expect me to be happy with it. But yeah, man, I'll say in Jersey, you are safe. I mean, people always think New York, but on the Jersey side, whatever region of the world, we are going to have a fine eating establishment right here.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. Many years I would go to the Hudson and be like, crossing the Hudson. I'm like, I'm going to New York, man, because y'all Jersey, y'all palate is terrible, just straight terrible. And now, because of what's happening and so many nuances with food, I'm every day, I'm just enjoying the ingredients that New Jerseyans are putting out there. So yeah, New Jersey, definitely. We've come a long way. I go back and forth. I'm from New York, New Jersey, but if we're talking about food right now, I'm comfortable saying New Jersey's good because I don't want to pay them damn tolls. I don't want to pay them tolls.
I'll give you the edge in pizza still, man. We got some good pizza here, but every time I have New York pizza, well, it depends on the spot, but yeah, there's some real pizza in New York.
Speaking of pizza, I want to shout out Localities. They're in Carroll Gardens, Brooklyn.
Okay. That
pizzeria is a game changer. Me and the missus went there the other day. Oh man, the owner, Frank. He's crowded. He's like, yo, this is what we can do. This is how we're gonna do it. The way everything. It took a long time to get the pizza.
Okay.
But I promise you, it was worth every penny. Me and the missus was eating on the curb. We was just like, yo. He was like, wait, what? Like, he's like, look, this is it. And we were like, you know what? We're enjoying the time. The weather was nice. The vibes is there. So we were enjoying Brooklyn. So
nice.
Shout out to that restaurant, man. That pizza restaurant. He's good. Like, and a lot of celebrities have been going there recently. Yeah. So it's the joint. It's in Carroll Gardens, Brooklyn.
Got it.
Yeah. So Corey, if one is looking for you, how can they find you, man?
You can find me, go to YouTube and plug in New Jersey Living. If you put in New Jersey Living, Corey Jones online, I'm going to pop up there somewhere. Right.
Helping
on
that
Instagram, we are absolutely. We are at the New Jersey Living Group on Instagram. You'll find me there. And likewise with TikTok, right? So we are New Jersey Living Group on TikTok. So we are there. Look me up. Be glad to. Some people just reach out to either say, hey, look, I'm from so-and-so, and, they gives them insights and drop some comments or whatever. So chop it up a little bit with some people who are just, checking in.
Right.
But if you are definitely looking to, buy, sell, even people who are in the rental market, we have landlords we work with. My team takes on rentals, you know what I mean? So that's there available as well. And even commercial. We have some commercial inventory right now as well.
Okay.
All right. So we have some people with mixed-use property or commercial space that they really want to maximize exposure. This is something that we operate in that space also.
Love it, man. Love it.
Yeah.
Again, guys, Jimmy Mortgage. I do mortgages. I love mortgages. Mortgages is what I do and what I love. But if you want to find more about what we're doing and what's happening, it's on Let's Talk About It. I'm on your favorite streaming platform, whether it be YouTube, Spotify. Type in Jimmy Mortgage. Let's talk about it. I'm going to pop up. Corey, I appreciate your time today, man. This was a good look.
Absolutely.
All right.
Indeed.
Let's Talk About It podcast is sponsored by Molson Law LLC, servicing clients all across New Jersey.
Again, guys, Jimmy Mortgage. I do mortgages. I love mortgages. Mortgages is what I do and what I love. But if you want to find more about what we're doing and what's happening, it's on Let's Talk About It. I'm on your favorite streaming platform, whether it be YouTube, Spotify. Type in Jimmy Mortgage. Let's talk about it. I'm going to pop up. Corey, I appreciate your time today, man. This was a good look.
Absolutely.
All right.
Indeed.
Hey, listeners, are you looking to improve your home comfort and save on your energy bills? Let's talk about Seal Power. They've been awarded Energy Star Sustained Excellence Award seen on Good Morning America, the New York Times, and World News. Seal Power is dedicated to keeping your home cozy while saving money. Check out their website for tips and incentives and more at CIELPOWER.com. Stay comfortable and save with Seal Power, where comfort meets efficiency. Follow them on Instagram for updates and more, and Let's Talk About It as well. Thank you.